Hello again, viewers, and greetings, fellow space travelers. This is Thorn of Night, and Cuddles snuck in here. Hi, Cuddles. And welcome to another glorious morning, day, period of time on the Refuge. And today I have quite the project in store for myself. I have hopefully not bitten off more than I can chew. I do tend to do that sometimes, but we shall see. Previously, I was doing some work on the Stronghold, and I alluded to a road that's going to be connecting from here at spawn to the Stronghold itself. Marketplace left, not so much. It'll be quests left and shops right. As a matter of fact, that's going to get moved over there. But this road here comes to just a full dead stop. I have it lit for the most part, with some more bush lighting here and there. I think, yeah, there's a couple more here and there. And it just stops. And it goes to nowhere. Well, that's about to change. Because, turn your eyes skyward, I have placed markers for where I generally want the road to go. And along the road, I have plans for different quest locations and things like that. And some of the terrain has given me a couple ideas for the quests. And I am going to be doing a little bit of terrain modifying, but not a whole lot. Definitely not on the scale of the Stronghold. The Stronghold is something special. I wanted to spend a lot of time on it. That's still not done. You'll see that in a bit. But speaking of in a bit, there's a little traveling we need to do, because I want you to see the extent of the journey that's going to be in store for everyone involved. First off, spawn. Going to do a little touching up of the mountains, but basically going to stay like this. Might have that little stream there. That's natural, by the way. Might have that turn into a little brook that actually attaches down to the river. We'll see. But for right now, we're more interested in the road. And there is no road in place yet, just the markers. And I have in my head a sort of windy design, not too dissimilar from what I did over there. But it's going to generally follow where I have placed these glowstone spikes in the sky. There will be a bridge here. And probably something to do with that. Don't want to tear it down entirely. Probably design some quests around it. That was the original homestead of Ender Lady X, who realized just how close they were to spawn and had to... Hi, Cuddles. And had to relocate because of proximity. I have cleared out an area here. I was getting some dirt here also, but... Whoa. My mouse just went insane. Cool. I've cleared out some dirt here and basically am going to be using this as some sort of mini town or manor or something that I will be having at least a couple quests at. Let me go ahead and, since we're the only two on right now, I'll just /day. Yeah, there we go. The road is going to continue around and through this. There's going to be a couple farms there. I'm probably going to have some themed stuff for the area. It was over this way. Okay, I remember. It was in the snow. So the road's going to cross this little babbling brook, and it's going to transition to this icy area. And I'm actually thinking of extending the snow a little bit, or building up the walls and making sort of a mountain range there so people don't want to go explore left, at least as much, maybe. But we'll see how it turns out down there in the ground. Where is... I don't see it yet. It's got to be up there somewhere. There's a ravine that I'm going to be incorporating into the quest line, and we will get to it shortly-ish. But this is where I'm having the road go through. This is all solid snow biomes. From here, there it is. There's the ravine. Haha! It's nothing too terribly fancy. Someone did try to build a little bit of a bridge there, but that's alright. Don't know how I'm going to be incorporating the ravine, but I have seen it a couple of times now. Going to be doing something with it, probably using it and maybe back there as part of a backdrop. But anyway, the road is going to continue this way. Why? Oh, right. I have the road coming in to cross at a thin spot here, and then I realized that there's no water here at all. However, there's supposed to be. This is supposed to be a river, so I'm going to have to do a little bit of terrain modifying and bring the river out a little bit. Use some fix water commands and all that kind of stuff. I can just use world edit to dig the trench down just a bit and fix water all the way around. No big deal. But once we get over here, it's going to be mostly treeless. There might there might need to be some flattening, as a matter of fact, of this area. I don't want it too overly hilly, but we'll see how it all turns out. It's going to follow around this way, and it's going to sort of stay near the shore for this stretch. I don't want to travel too far from the shore. I'm probably even going to have some sort of, I don't know, ice fishing quest where you have to use your fishing skill to do some ice fishing, because you can do that. There is another ravine there, pretty substantial. I might incorporate that, we'll see. The road is going to continue on along shore. I'm going to be using this area that's already been slightly modified to my advantage and make some quest buildings here, as well as over there. It deviates from the water a bit this way because I want to do some additional questing over on this side. And then over here, I shall continue more quickly now. It comes back to the shore, or back near. I don't know if I'm going to be doing anything on that ridge. I should, because it's just, it can't be ignored. Let me come down to the ground for a second, just to, if the road is going to be here, I'm not going to have the road down on the bottommost level. It's going to probably be here. If you're here, walking around, you can't help but see this. So I'm going to have to beautify it a bit. Ooh, bunny. I'm going to probably either knock this out or include this. Maybe make it into some support arches and actually make it like stone brick or something. Just use that as a template. Ooh, castle. Castle on the rock or something. I can work with that. I have an idea. So something to throw in the back of my head for now. Continuing on, the road bends on this way, and as you can see, it's not a short trip, but so far it's not hugely long either. And then we get over this way, and all the snow just kind of melts away into just your standard little hilly forest. Some birch trees here and there. It is sort of a dark forest over there, so that might be useful for something. I might actually modify it and add some custom trees if I am going to go off in that direction. We'll see. But the road then continues this way. There's a nice plains island over there. And I'm going to have it come down to this little peninsula and have a bridge cross to this clearing. This clearing is going to, because it's the same biome on both sides of this tiny little clearing, I'm going to actually do something with this, but I don't know quite yet what it is that I'm going to do. This may be the guardhouse for the coming cliff town, which you're going to be reaching via a ladder, probably here? Maybe? We'll see. But this is going to have some sort of a small town here, and then this like market and also Stronghold style building here. And I do want it to be Stronghold style, like the same sort of bricks and layout as the Stronghold, maybe scaled a little bit larger, room by room, not like take a Stronghold and put it up here on the surface. I already have Stronghold, it's down below. No, I mean like the same sort of theme and put it here because this is where the quest to go to the end is going to be. It's going to lead the player to come into this recently finished tunnel. Do 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 do. Took a little while for me to figure out exactly where I wanted the tunnel to be. Did some creative, or not creative, some spectator flying to practice my run, and then just came through with a wand, cleared this out. Did some other modifications. There's a cave on the other side of that wall I had to fill in. There was the cave continues up here. This was not my doing. I may just fill that in to bring it down. We'll see. But this comes down, and as you can see, it transitions from the diorite and the sea lanterns to the mix down to here, where I'm going to have it interact with this room. But you're going to be walking through the water curtain, so I'm going to have to get, at least for this area, the water curtain hashed out the way I want it to be. Now, down here, I still haven't done any of the rounding yet. I've been a little busy and a little preoccupied with some other stuff. But here's the entrance. It's going to, for the most part, be, well, it's from the inside here, it's going to be not as clearly visible. So I may hammer this back a bit, but not worry about rounding as much. Like I could go, let's see here. Something like that sort of slope and round it up all the way around and do stuff like that. Bring this in some, make it smoother, and just take some sandpaper to this whole area. I do know that if you try to use smooth on an overhang, it does some very bizarre things, so I'm not even going to try it. Because I don't want to chance anything happening to the lava or anything like that. So this is all going to be hand done, which is part of the reason why I've been dragging my feet, is because I don't want to do it. But it'll get done. I will just force myself to do it, or just make a field day of it with me, Cuddles, Jojo. Just come in here and do this. Most of the work's done. Hi, Cuddles. There's Cuddles. She heard me talking, I'm sure, and doesn't look forward to the rounding. There is a lot of stuff that's going to be still happening in here too. By the way, the supports for the stronghold itself are going to get beefed up. The sand needs to go away. Just realized, oops. So there's still a lot of things that need to happen, but instead of working in here, what I want to do today is start laying out where the actual road is going to be. Not building the bridges, not actually planning the different looks of the road as it goes through the different zones and all that. I just want to get some idea of how I want the road to be to get from spawn to here. And as you can see, other than a few bridges, it really does connect all the way via land. There's no huge lakes, there's no oceans, it is all on land. Oh, and it's dark. So what I'm going to do is go back to spawn and start maybe placing some blocks here and there, do some meandering, and try to figure out exactly where I want the road to go. So I don't know how much of this road is going to get done today, but I'm going to try to at least get a cobblestone line of some sort from there to here so that I can start working on the road, the ideas for the quests, some minor terrain modification, and eventually rounding this off. Ooh, my zoom didn't work right. Uh, Rounding off the stuff that's down there inside the stronghold. Oh, and also, I am so glad I included the sea lanterns because let me splash potion here because it's really dark. It's going to make it so much easier for me to put gravel on top of all of the exposed pieces in there so that I can just simply turn the gravel into glass and go from there. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. I'll have to also make sure that there aren't these little holes in the sides, but I don't think these will really matter. Come to think of it. Well, yeah, they will because I'm going to be doing some deletion. But anyway, the final idea for the dome in there, or the ceiling of the stronghold, inside the curtain, I'm going to try to make this as flat as I can so that we don't have to worry about trying to look up through all the different jagged 90-degree block corners, because no matter what texture packs or resource packs you have, looking through glass is unless you know what you're looking at. If you're looking through a whole bunch of different angles of glass, it really gets in the way. It would be like having those wave particles that you see on the top of the water. Imagine having that on every single block as it goes down. You wouldn't be able to see the bottom at all, even with night vision. That's how glass works with the dome, and I want to try to stay away from the dome idea. I want to flatten that out as much as it needs to be flattened out, and then I will modify the area around the glass so that as you look up from below, you can see the giant fish and the giant kelp and all that kind of stuff. But lots and lots and lots of little projects going on. Today's big one, road. I'm going to get to work. I'll be back with an update in just a bit. Okay, back here at Warp. Changed this, or at Spawn rather. Changed the signs a little bit. Quests to the left, shops to the right. Don't know where the warps are going to go. Probably have a little area up here for warps. Maybe even do it in the questing and or the shops area. Neither the quest nor the shops are in place yet. I'm just putting the signs here so everyone knows where they're tentatively going to be. Is that Cuddles? Yep, that's Cuddles. Way over there, I can see her. She's wearing a zombie villager head. And she's helping with the road. Speaking of road, made a lot of headway on this. I got slightly distracted by trying to put the storyline together as well as working on the road. So, not as much of the road got done as I would have liked, but a lot more storyline got fleshed out. And by storyline, I mean I'm going to be having this map, whether it's going to be through NPCs or books or whatever, there's going to be quests. And it's going to be divided into about 10 or 12 chapters worth of storyline. And you're going to be chasing after the Corruptor. And as you progress through, you will slowly get enough gear to be able to eventually, on your own, fight the End Dragon. There's going to be quests sending it to the Nether, and over here and over there, and kill these things, and explore this dungeon. There will be a dungeon or two that are command block and spawner based. I have lots of things planned. I just had to make sure I do this in little bites and pieces Otherwise, I am going to get burned out. But have made a lot of progress on the roads. Uh, the little noise is happening. She's over here adding some side blocks. Probably going to have to randomize that a little bit more using wands, but this is a fantastic start. Adding the stone buttons to add more three-dimensional texture. Love it. Knock that out. Have the road following these spikes, which I'm going to need to take them out eventually, but I'm leaving them in place for the time being because I want to have markers for where the roads are while up there. And the reason is I'm going to be making custom clouds. They are going to be just normal clouds at first. Yeah, they'll draw your attention, but for the most part, they're just going to be benign. And then as you get farther and farther along, they're going to get more and more ominous. And it's going to be using a lot of glass and some darker blocks later on. But I have a really neat mental image of the way things are going to pan out for it. So there's going to be a bridge. Haven't built the bridge yet. It's on the to-do list. Made a clearing because what I'm going to be doing is adding some custom trees along this road and having access to some quest stuff left and right through some pathways. But the custom trees are going to line the road and they're going to be rather dense. So it's going to sort of conceal the vanilla biome that's surrounding this road, but I did cut a swath through this for the roadway itself. I have to decide if I'm going to leave some of the slopes as they currently are because some of them are just a little bit annoying for going up and down like this, but I'll figure it out. Let's see here. Next thing, speaking of the chapters, this right here is going to be the location, well, this area right around in here is going to be the location of the cottage for the last leg of chapter 1, which is basically going to be all the intros to the questing and how to do the questing and all that kind of stuff. And as you can see, the road starts to change. There's bricks added, and then moss bricks start. This is where chapter 2 is going to start. I'm having some sort of mansion chateau kind of thing with this garden and the horseshoe driveway and a fountain. Just that's a place marker. Fountain goes here. And the road is just going to come in and follow around this way. There's going to be access underground to a sort of laboratory and sewer system, and it's going to be very dungeony, and it's going to almost be a hint at the strongholds, but not quite as cramped as those rooms are. But that's going to come over here, and there's going to be this area that sort of resembles this smoke glass setup that I've got started here. This is going to be just the first couple of inklings of the corruption that's happening. So it's basically going to be chapter 1 is intro to how to quest and maybe some hints at the bad guy. Chapter 2 is going to be, alright, there is a bad guy and you're chasing him. And this is some of the stuff that they're doing. I'm going to have probably a zombie dungeon and a spider dungeon involved with this chapter. Maybe some other stuff. But then it's going to wrap up this chapter here. It's going to come across the bridge, following this way, and then it's going to come into here where chapter 3 will begin. And I don't know, I've not yet decided if I'm going to leave this really dense if I'm going to add some custom trees or what, but I do like the fact that you can't really see the horizon uh, in some of these situations. It whoa, didn't see that before. It adds to the sort of feel that the world is, though you know that the world is huge, this part of the world is kind of confined. I'm not necessarily going to artificially like barrier block it in or anything like that, but I am going to try to make it designed so that the player wants to stay within the boundaries of where the questing is happening. Normal world exploration can happen wherever and whenever, but as far as the storyline quests, I want them to kind of know where they're supposed to be going for them. But road's going to follow this way, and then I think basically I'm going to be dividing the chapters into the zones. That way it's going to just be a lot easier for me to work with and to design the storyline off of. Over here, I'm going to be having the access to the next chapter, and oh, there is an igloo here. Didn't even see that before. This is going to be the access to basically a sort of wasteland, and I might split this part of the storyline into two pieces. And somewhere in this area, either this piece or the second half of the wasteland, is going to be access to the nether. And there's even probably going to be some wither fighting, maybe. I have not yet decided. But it's going to then dump out into the next zone, and then the next and the next, and it'll progress all the way to access to the end where the final chapter is going to happen. And after the final chapter is going to, I'm going to allow players to just, where the final chapter culminates, I'm going to have them continually be able to fight the end dragon as much as they like. It's going to be command block based, but uh, I'm going to have to make sure that everyone understands if they summon it, they have to kill it, and to not summon a million of them. That's the big problem. I don't know how to do that right now. So, just like everything else on this server, it's going to be a trust thing. At least at first, anyway. So, that's basically the gist of what I got done today. A lot of planning for the storyline and quite a bit of work on the road, to be honest. So I think I'm happy with as far as I've gotten today. I could go through and do the dotted line path of place the bedrock and road goes here, and call it a quit after I'm done with that. I might even still do some of that after I'm done here, but for right now, I think I'm good. So, I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up for today. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, please feel free to leave a message in the comment section below, and I will be more than happy to answer any questions you may have. If you like this video and you like what I'm doing here, please feel free to give a like. I do appreciate that. And if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe so you know when my future stuff comes out. I'm going to go ahead and let you go after I investigate this igloo here. Oh, neat. Whoa. Did someone... Is this how it's supposed to look, or did someone... Oh, no. I bet this is Elmi's doing. Yeah, that's Elmi's doing. Anyway, I'm going to let you go. Thank you once again for watching. Distraction. This is Thorn of Night on the Refuge, and I will talk to you later.